Hello and welcome to this PMF how-to, which explains what you can make into a dimension. This how-to will cover a metrics topic. Dimensions provide the basis for how your summaries are added up in PMF, and they control how your drills work when you drill in on summaries. They provide a means to group measures and to filter them. Dimensions are a big way to establish business context in PMF. So when you think about what to make into a dimension, you think about two things. First, when analyzing what dimensions to use, you should consider how your organization and offerings are structured. This could relate to your organization, customers, locations, and products. You're trying to answer particular questions that are important to understanding business context. Who did something? Who was affected? Where did this happen? What materials, services, or events provided the context? When did the event occur? Second, once you have figured out what dimensions you need, you then need to determine the logical levels for each dimension. Remember, each dimension can be, and often is, a hierarchy. Dimensions are organized in hierarchies because many of the business contexts in your organization are hierarchical. For example, if your organization makes products, you might organize those products into a hierarchy like this one: product categories, product families, product names. In this case, individual products such as a particular smartphone might belong to a family of similar smartphones that differ in features and pricing. And these families belong to your organization's smartphone line. Here's an example of the layout for a product dimension with 3 levels. Note that we have product types, groups, and names. This dimension is already mapped to data, so you can quickly preview it from the Preview tab. In this example, the Deluxe XX smartphone belongs to a family of XX smartphones, and all the families of smartphones belong to your smartphone product category. If you had a very diverse company making different types of products, not all of which were electronics, you might even have another higher level product type and have electronics, durable goods, consumables, etc. Okay, let's look at a different context. If your enterprise has many locations, you might have a geographical or location hierarchy like this one: country, region, state or province, city. Individual cities such as Los Angeles or Toronto or Madrid would belong to states or provinces such as California or Ontario or Comunidad de Madrid. These, in turn, would belong to a region such as West Coast, Central Canada, or España Central. These, in turn, would belong to the countries USA, Canada, and España. Keep in mind that levels and dimensions also need to make sense. If using a location dimension for the United States, obviously putting state below city is incorrect. Here is an example of a layout for a location dimension with 3 levels. Note that we have regions, plants, and stores. This dimension is also already mapped to data, so you can quickly preview it from the Preview tab. In PMF, one dimension is always required: time. With time, you get historical analysis, trending of metrics, ability to walk through progress, and a continuous sense of when now is. You can set up the time dimension in one of 2 ways, either following the standard year, quarter, month business calendar, or a custom layout. The year, quarter, month layout for time is easy to use and doesn't require you to provide any specific data. It's automatically generated from the standard calendar. You would typically want to set up a custom time dimension if your industry uses a calendar that differs from the year, quarter, month standard business calendar. For example, if you're in a university system, you might want to use an academic calendar. If you're at a retail company, you might want to use a week-oriented 4-5-4 calendar. The custom time dimension lets you design the calendar you want PMF to use. You can define quarters or periods, and if you're looking at a weekly plan system, map the weeks into those periods and quarters. Some customers get confused between the idea of latency, how often data needs to be refreshed, and granularity, how small the increments of time your targets and actuals for metrics need to be. PMF can refresh data on schedule regardless of the structure of the time dimension. A standard business calendar, year, quarter, month, can have data that's refreshed every month, or week, or day, or even hour, and still keep summaries at the monthly level. The Dimension panel on the Manage page is where you can create new dimensions and edit existing dimensions, point them to data, or type the data in. The Dimension panel also lets you schedule a Save Dimension load to grab changes to the dimension level data on schedule. This way, you can make sure your dimension data is always refreshed. Here's where to go for more information.